thing we've seen in a lot of the black community, which is mostly Democrat, is that President Trump's policies are the policies that can help people break out of the problems that they're complaining about, but he can't want them to be successful more than they want to be successful. And what you're seeing throughout the country now is a groundswell of support in the black community, because they're realizing that all the different bad things that the media and the Democrats have said about President Trump are not true. And so they're seeing that he's actually delivered, he's put up results, and a lot of people want to get on board to start working with President Trump, because they know that, unlike most politicians who have been in Washington for decades, who talk and say all the right things, President Trump may not always say the right things, but he does the right things. He says what's on his mind, and he gets results. And so people want results. They're tired of politicians who are promising things and not delivering.
Well, he does say what's on his mind. He's really good at that. Jared.
That was a very, very ugly dog whistle by Jared Kushner earlier today on Fox News, on Fox and Friends. I don't want to sugarcoat it. What he's essentially saying is that most black people are choosing failure. They're choosing to reject success and opportunity because they are not voting for Donald Trump. That's what he's saying. Basically, what he says there is Donald Trump wants everyone to succeed. Everyone, white, black, everyone else. He wants everyone to find success. But people can only get success if they choose to seek it and strive to it. Donald Trump can lay out the roadmap for you, Kushner says, but you still gotta follow it. And Trump has done all of that, and most black people have rejected that because they're with the Democratic Party. That's what Kushner's saying. If you're not voting for Trump, you won't find success as a black person. Most black people are not voting for Trump, even though maybe, according to him, there's some upswell of leaving the Democratic Party among black people. Still, most black people are rejecting success. That's what he's saying. It's not racism. It's not discrimination. It's not historical and contemporary inequalities. It's not the legacy of fundamental dehumanization of black people and other people of color as well. It's them seeing Donald Trump give them the key to the palace and them reject the key for, the Democratic Party continuing to take them for granted and trapping them, in that one party. That's what Kushner is saying. And look, it's wrong, because the Republican Party has not offered anything of substantive value to poor and working and middle-class black people. They just haven't. They have some supporters among the black elite, because tax cuts are good for black people if they're rich, just like they're good for white people if they're rich. But the fact of the matter is, the policies of the Republican Party are not good for working class and poor people. They're not. And the majority of people in this country, by per capita basis, who are poor and working class, tend to be minorities. Black, Hispanic, Indigenous. They tend to be more represented in lower income categories. And the Republicans aren't doing anything for those people. Look, the Democrats aren't great. The corporate Democrats aren't great, but they're at least somewhat better than the Republicans. And there's a reason why, whether it's social or economic or cultural issues, why most black people, most of the time, vote Democrat over Republican. And it's not because they're rejecting success, Jared. It's because the Republican Party, since the days of Richard Nixon, has become a party of white, anti-integrationist, anti-equality politics. It's a party of white identity against people like black people. And so it's no surprise that in the post-Nixon era, most black people, especially federally, vote Democrat down the line because the Republican Party is an existential threat to them. The Republican Party has done awful things to black people in a way that even the awful Democratic Party hasn't quite done. That's the simple reality. There's a reason why black people are doing this. They're not stupid, Jared. They're rejecting your party's deep, entrenched racism and intolerance towards them and other people of color. That's what's happening. But the thing is, black people weren't the target audience there. Black people aren't the target audience of Fox and Friends, on a Monday, Tuesday morning, 2 weeks before an election. The target there are white people. White people are the target there. Two types of white people. One, people that are locked in on Trump and want a reason to feel good for voting Trump. Or two, people that are sort of on the fence and are worried about Trump's racism and his treatment of minorities and are looking for an excuse to wave that away. And so they can still vote for Trump and other Republicans. And what Jared is trying to do is give those people that excuse and reason for feeling good about themselves. And what Jared is basically saying is, look, us good white people in the Republican Party who believe that, color doesn't exist and that we're all equal Americans, supposedly, we've gone out and we've shown black people what to do to succeed. Believe in capitalism and opportunity and all these sorts of things. Basically, he's parroting Candace Owens' propaganda that's BS. And that we've given them the key to success with Donald Trump, who's a politician that loves the African American community. But because the black community is so, ensconced within the Democratic Party, they just can't see the way forward. So you see, the people that are holding black people back are black people. So in essence, it's their fault. Everything that's gone wrong with the African American community historically and recently is their fault. We're the people trying to rescue them, and they're just pushing our hand away. What more can we do? What more can we do, good Republican white people? We tried our best. Most black people don't want to be successful. It is what it is. That's what Kushner's doing here. It's extremely ugly. This is ugly even for the Trump administration. This clip needs to go viral. So far as I've seen, it's sort of swam under the radar because, everything's happening right now. But this is Jared Kushner basically saying, if you're black and you don't vote for us, you deserve poverty, you deserve failure, you deserve to not have success, and we're basically going to laugh at you and punish you if you don't vote for us. It's the ugliest of dog whistles.